Your take on the speakership debacle and now what it means, since you wrote on Pelosi, what it means for the Democrats.
Oh, interesting. Well, so I think for the Republicans and McCarthy, in the near term, they have to come back tomorrow, Monday, and vote on the rules package. So we could see it fall apart again as soon as a day from now. And it's not really clear whether the votes are there for that rules package. Not all of the members of the Republican conference are clear on what all is in it, what concessions are made, whether they are willing to go along with this. For the Democrats, we saw a powerful show of unity. I think we saw a caucus that is quite united behind their new leader, Hakeem Jeffries. But some of the concessions that McCarthy has made to the right can all to quote unquote democratize the House could also empower individual members on the Democratic side to have more autonomy and push for more things. So it'll be interesting to see if they feel empowered, the so-called squad of the left as well, to try and utilize some of the tools that will now be available to them.
Well, that's an interesting point you bring up, Molly, because now it may not be those on the far right that might be rejecting the rules package. It might be the moderates, right? The ones that say, wait, I didn't see these rules. What are these concessions that we're giving? That's a reality.
Exactly. And this morning on some of the Sunday shows, you had some of those members, people like Nancy Mace being asked, people like Tony Gonzalez, and saying either they plan to vote against the rules package or they're not sure if they're going to vote for it. So I think that's a really open question. So, we talk about the chaos that we saw over the past week, prefiguring the chaos to come for this Republican majority in the House. It could be sooner rather than later that chaos lands right on Kevin McCarthy's doorstep.
And you're pretty good at least estimating what might be possible. For instance, in June, you published a very prescient article about the MAGA squad and their growing influence over the GOP, writing how they're, quote, spent the past year building their power, and now they're preparing to wield it. If McCarthy or any other Republican wants to be Speaker, he's going to have to go through them, and he's not getting their votes without meeting their demands. So you wrote. Now that we've seen, well, that's what happened, what might be next for the MAGA squad and its grip over the GOP? You sort of intimated what was possibly going to happen in the future, in that we're going to go through the same debate about who's going to be their leader.
Yeah, well, and, I think what we saw over the past week was that they were saying these things out in the open, members like Matt Gaetz, but Kevin McCarthy really either wasn't taking them seriously or didn't think he was going to need their votes. And what we saw play out is that he needs to take seriously their demands, and that they really have been studying the procedural rules and all of these things so that they are ready to exert their leverage. They were studying the squad of the left. They were studying all of the tactics and procedures. And we saw them put those to work over the past week's worth of votes, and they're ready to keep doing this. So Kevin McCarthy is going to be operating with a sort of Damocles hanging over his head, whether it's in the form of that one-member motion to vacate that the holdouts secured, or whether it's all of these other concessions. They are going to be using those to, as they put it, enforce the terms of the agreement.